So what separates junior and mid-level designers from those that actually go on to create their own agencies isn't actually skill. It has to do a lot with systems. But most designers never really learn these systems. They're quite focused on trying to learn the next hot tool or the next AI trend that's going to help them blow up. But after more than 10 years in design and eventually running my own agency, I learned the hard way and narrowed it down to 5 systems that make the biggest difference. So the good news actually is that you don't have to spend an entire decade like I did figuring out these systems. You can get all of them in this video. Now, before we jump in, there's something important that we need to cover. There's a lot of buzzwords in the design world. A system is simply a repeatable way of doing something. And in freelancing, where time is money, literally, systems help designers move faster, be more efficient, all these things. So a system is just something that you can do over and over that helps you grow and helps you in your career. But now that you understand what a system is, we're going to break it down into 5 separate systems that I have created for this video. Number 1 is going to be clarity, planning, delivery, client expectations, and the learning system. And if you apply these systems correctly, they can help you in your own career. So the first 3 systems that we're going to learn is going to be the foundations that most designers never actually build, knowing what actually matters, how to plan your week around it, turning those ideas into finished work without burning out. But the final 2 systems are the ones that can genuinely change your life for the long term, because this is where you learn how to manage clients, how to protect your time, and how to actually start building your business like an entrepreneur. So let's get into the first problem of not knowing what to actually do with your day, how to have clarity. So when I first started web design, the thing that scared me the most, or the thing that I struggled with the most, wasn't the actual design part, because like most of us, we're very happy to do the design. It's everything that goes around it. So to give you an example, Monday morning, I didn't know if I should be on Twitter trying to find people to grow my circle, if I should be on YouTube creating videos for clients, if I should be on Figma for 10 hours a day trying to improve my skill, on Udemy to learn a new product, a new skill like Photoshop or InDesign or whatever, or on LinkedIn trying to reach out to different clients. So what I did, and the biggest system that I've created for this, is quite simple. So I set up a Notion page with 3 different questions at the top that I had to answer every single week. And this helped me be straight with my clarity. And this helped me stay on track every single week. So the questions are as follows. The first question that I forced myself to answer was, what do you want the outcome of this week or month to be? What do you actually want it to happen? So this kind of simplifies things, because if you have a clear goal, you can work backwards. And that's going to be the very first step to actually achieving anything that you want in the design world or beyond. So to give you an example, if your goal is to get more clients, then you know for a fact you should not be on Figma trying to get that new effect or a new trend that you're seeing all over Twitter. You should probably be on Twitter, but trying to get clients. You should probably be on LinkedIn. So that kind of helps you focus in the first place. Okay, so then I would narrow it down to my second question, which is, what are 3 actions I can do this week to help me get closer to that goal? And this helps a lot, because when you only have 3 priorities in your entire week, then you know exactly what you need to do. To give you another example, if your goal is to update your portfolio, then you shouldn't be on LinkedIn. Then you should probably be on Figma, or you should be on Framer or wherever to try to create that case study. You should be researching different projects. You should be looking at inspiration. You should be on Framer trying to actually learn that new skill that you want to learn so that you can upload the project on Framer or whatever it is. But now you have an actionable path. And this is something so simple, but it's something that a lot of beginners don't even do. And so that's why I want to include it here. But number 3 is something that actually helped me a lot, which is constraints. Even if you have this actionable to-do list, just because you have that doesn't mean that you're going to do it. You still need a ton of discipline, and discipline is very difficult. I know myself right now, I'm training for different endurance events and Ironmans and things like that, and I'm learning a lot about discipline, and it's very difficult. So I installed something that's not sponsored, but something called Opal, which has this blocking effect where you cannot look at an app if you want to, unless you put in a password or you do. But basically, Opal or other apps like it help you block different sites on your phone, or even setting different constraints like that on your computer. And that basically helps me, because during the weekend, I cannot go on Gmail, I cannot go on Discord or on X, or things that is work for me. And that helps me a lot during the week as well to stay mentally clear. But then during the week, I can't go, I don't know, on Instagram, or I can't play different games or whatever. So that's something that can help me a lot, and I'm sharing so that it helps you as well. Now, one of the mistakes that you can do with planning is going to be trying to focus on different things that you see on the internet with post-its or with different apps or different ways to stay organized. It's about breaking it down to the simplest of forms. And this goes back to the clarity system. Number one is having 3 things that you need to focus on during the week. These are things that you need to show up for no matter what. So for example, for me, that might be doing admin, doing emails, making sure that the script of the video is done, the project for my agency is complete, the new app that we're creating is getting there, or whatever the case is. So these are things that I have to do day to day. But the third one is flex time. So this is something that you can use to quote unquote have fun. You can learn a new trade, you can design something that's been bugging you for a while, you can try to figure something out. It's nothing that necessarily needs to be done to run the business. And this is something that kind of helps you grow without bogging you down with the most critical tasks every single day, your entire life. So after a couple of weeks or months with the system, you're gonna start to notice that you can kind of figure out day to day how long it's gonna take you to do certain tasks, how to write a case study, how long it's going to do an invoice, to message a certain amount of clients. And this is gonna help you with planning and growth. And so the next step that we're going to talk about helps you with planning, because when you're not stressing about the day-to-day life, it helps you open up so much, and creativity can just actually happen without you being stressed about it. If you're super stressed day to day, if your nervous system is all the way up to 10, you're not going to be able to relax and just enjoy your work. So this, number 3, is very important. So at this point of your career, every project that you take might follow a same predictable pattern. Gather everything that you need. So for example, the client direction, the inputs, all of that, and then you put it into a single Notion page, or wherever you put it, into an email or something like that. Brand guidelines, screenshots, notes, copy, all of that. And at this point in my career, every project that I take on follows a very similar, predictable pattern. So I take everything that I have, I turn them into a simple direction. And when I start a new project, all the inputs are stored in one place. So for me, you guys already know that I love Notion with all the references, the brand guidelines. I have a video on that if you guys want. I'll link it here. You can use whatever tool you want, but it's the one that I use and helps me just stay organized. And so the moment I have everything, I move it directly into Framer. So the reason I use Framer is because you can design and build in the same project without having to go back and forth. So for projects that are very simple, this is great. Sometimes you do need Figma because, I don't know, I'm just a lot more used to Figma than designing in Framer, but I still love building in Framer because it's just easier. But anyways, let's go back into the delivery system, because it's actually how to keep the entire system. Now, let me walk you through how I actually break down the delivery system, because this is what keeps the entire process system instead of super overwhelming. I split every project into a set of checkpoints. So each checkpoint obviously has a job, and the rule that I follow is I never open a project unless I know exactly what I'm going to be working on. So this way you never lose focus on what you actually need to be doing that day, and you can just get to work without having to meander around the project file. So this is quite similar to our first point, which was the clarity system, but having the ability to just know exactly what you're going to be working on that day allows you to be a lot faster. And this only comes when you have the clarity system in place from the get-go. So without being able to do that, you don't know what you're going to work on in Framer that week. You don't know exactly what you have to be doing. So it's super important to have these things in place. Now we're down to the 5th system, which is going to be the client expectation system. Now, none of this really matters without the client being happy at the end of the day. For communication, your goal is going to be super simple, just to remove all surprises for the client, because with clients, they get pretty annoyed if surprises start to come up here and there, like, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm not available this day of the week, and you guys are gonna have to deal with it on your own. So from the very beginning, just make everything extremely transparent. Explain exactly what your process is, how long it's gonna take to hear feedback, what the feedback should look like, where you actually get that feedback, if it's gonna be on Slack, on Notion, on Gmail. If you want to talk on a Google Doc, whatever the case is, you need to be transparent, because if not, they start to get a little bit annoyed. And the good thing is that this avoids getting on calls, and I hate getting on calls. If I can, I avoid calls at all costs. Asynchronous communication is the best way to run anything, in my opinion. So this always comes down to the same thing, which is going to be having trust and clarity with clients. Now, it's easier said than done, of course, but you want to end up having a client list that you actually want to keep, that you actually like, that you get along with, not just people that kind of pay you money and you don't really like them. So clarity, transparency, trust, all these things are going to be super important for you and for the client. Now, the last system might actually be the most important one, which is the learning system. Now, this is all about creating a feedback loop where you're constantly trying to learn and learn and learn. An example that I want to give you is if you're working on a project and you notice that you're spending way too much time experimenting with spacing or fonts or something like that, the next project that you have, make sure that spacing and fonts is something that's done, already taken care of mentally. You know exactly how you're going to confront it. You don't want to show up to another project with the same problem. You want to constantly be improving. Show up to that new project with a spacing framework, 4-point or 8-point, whatever the case is, but make sure that you have something like that in place in the next project so it doesn't catch you off guard again. In a way, if you think about it, every single project that you do should be improving. It should kind of leave a trail of all the ways that you've learned and experimented in the past. Another one is, for example, if a client keeps asking the same question over and over, have that question, have that in an FAQ on your onboarding. Make sure that the client knows that from the get-go, so they're not going to ask you again, like, where do I pay you? Or how many times are we going to talk during the week? Or how should I give communication, feedback, things like that. Put this all in a doc so that the client knows. That's an example. Now, this is great because 1% improvement over time compounds a lot, and day to day, you don't really see the changes, but when you look back, you're gonna say, I can't believe I was doing like that. It was so basic. I'm so glad that I kept going and kept working on it. And if you take these seriously and actually implement them, they can help you grow a lot. And these are very simple things, but they can just help you grow so much. And if you guys want extra help, I have a newsletter that comes out weekly that helps designers grow and scale and become better at their career. It's all practical advice of the years of design experience that I've learned throughout. The link is in the description. If you guys want to join, feel free, and I'll see you guys on the next one.